From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped. I'm Alison Mitchell in London, and with me this week is Jim Maxwell for the ABC in Sydney, and Charu Sharma for Akashvani is in Bangalore. This week we are going to be taking a trip to the Channel Islands, which are a group of British Crown dependencies located in the English Channel off the north coast of France. And one of those islands is Guernsey. Now, Guernsey became an affiliate member of the ICC back in 2005 and were promoted to associate membership in 2008. So to find out more about how cricket is developing on the island, we are joined by the Chief Operating Officer of Guernsey Cricket, Richard Headington. When I asked Richard just how popular cricket is in Guernsey, and first of all, what the population is.
Population is 64,000. We're 25 square miles, so relatively small. Very popular and growing. We've got 35 senior men's teams, and we've got 4 senior women's teams, and we play evening T20 cricket throughout the whole summer, pretty much every night of the week. And then we have 40 and 50 over matches at the weekends as well. But the numbers are growing significantly, particularly with our younger age groups.
So how is it that you're attracting those youngsters to come to these club games, the T20s that are happening throughout the summer?
One of the triggers this year was we actually contacted the ICC and asked if they could bring over the ICC trophy, which they kindly agreed to. So they brought that over in a special box and took it round to the island, all the schools. So it was basically taken on a whistle-stop tour of all the island schools and Alderney. It was flown over on a little plane to Alderney as well. And we did a presentation, ICC did a presentation all about cricket and T20. And we got in front of basically 2,000 children. And partly on the back of that, we've seen quite a significant increase in our participation levels. For the first time, we've introduced this year an under-7 competition and an under-9 competition for boys and girls. It's the second year of our under-11s league. Bearing in mind we're a small island and the numbers compared to elsewhere aren't going to be great, but we've got sort of from nothing, we've got 100 under-7s and 100 plus under-9s. And then so the under-11s league's gone from 150 to 230. So obviously the challenge is going to be, if we keep doing that every year, how are we going to sort of keep them engaged?
Where do they go next?
Absolutely, yeah, because we've got 5 grounds now, one specifically for the women's league. Yeah, 4 grounds and then some smaller grounds at the school. So that's going to be a big challenge, is going to be resources and then the coaches, the volunteers to help support and sort of nurture that enthusiasm, really.
Jim Maxwell in Sydney. Richard, fascinating to hear about Guernsey, 64,000. So you had a crack at the Men's World Cup. Didn't quite make that. Where are you? Where's all this heading? What chance have we got of seeing you on the world stage?
I think we know where we need to be now. To actually have qualified for that tournament was a pretty impressive achievement anyway. We didn't embarrass ourselves. We narrowly lost to our main rivals, Jersey, who nearly qualified. We have beaten Jersey in T20s in recent years. So that's hopefully a good sort of benchmark. Yeah, and I think the squad, they're hopefully going to be still together. They're relatively young for the next sort of 4 or 5 years. And they, having played at that level, they now know that, okay, we're not a million miles away from being competitive. And the good thing is our youngsters coming through the under-19 World Cup qualifier that was in Scotland, our under-19 to actually beat Jersey. So that's our sort of benchmark to measure us against. Jersey are slightly higher up than us in the rankings. But yeah, let's see. I think we're going in the right direction with all these youngsters coming through. I think in sort of years to come, a bigger pool of talent to choose from. Quietly confident.
I think a lot of people listening, watching this would want to know, has Guernsey ever produced a good cricketer who's gone on to play, well, you'd imagine, I was going to say for Germany, but I'm not allowed to say that, played for England perhaps?
Not for England, no. We've had quite a few of our guys have gone through the county set up in the UK. We've had players that have represented Hampshire, Leicestershire. the ultimate aim is obviously to get someone that is that good to represent England. Absolutely.
So, what about Finland and Switzerland coming up? How competitive will that be?
So we're ranked 38th in the world. They're a bit below us at, I think, 48th, 49th and 50th. We've recently played Papua New Guinea. They came over. We played them in a T20. They're ranked 22nd, so quite a bit higher than us. They beat us in the T20. We played them in 250 over games and won both of those. Unfortunately, because we only play international T20s, it was only the T20 that sort of counted. But on the basis they were higher than us and we were competitive at the 50 over game, Finland and Switzerland are below us. We're hopeful. Unfortunately, we've had a fantastic summer. This weekend, not so good. So we've got all these fixtures lined up and we've got a storm coming in. But touch wood, we'll get some games in.
I'm still mulling over that population figure of 64,000. Wow, the mind boggles. You could be in real danger of having just about every able-bodied man and woman already playing cricket. You run out of not only territory, but people as well. Your senior women's team is ranked 45th. We were talking about the men a little earlier. But can you tell us about how that team is evolving, is moving forward? And of course, I believe there's a new Women's Super League. So is that making a difference?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So this is the first year we've had the Women's Super League. So we've gone from having a national squad of 15 to choose from to now having 73 women girls that have played competitively in the Women's Super League this summer. We're looking to expand that next year. They organised a competition with Jersey, which is only a 10-minute flight away, an hour on the boat. So that's relatively easy to get sort of off-island competition there. And the good thing is from the coach and the manager, they've now got a pool of talent that they can go out and actually select a competitive, hopefully, side to play against. The plan for next year is to get the senior women playing some international T20s, hopefully against the likes of, say, Malta, Cyprus, Greece, Gibraltar, get them to some sunshine and hopefully play some good competitive cricket.
Yeah, you got a choice from 5 times the number of women cricketers. Jim mentioned Finland and Switzerland, but also you've been asked to host the 8-team ICC Under-19s World Cup Europe qualifier. Is that something that could give a massive fillip to Guernsey cricket?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So next summer, I've noted it down who's coming over. So we've got Belgium, France, Germany, Isle of Man, Italy, Sweden and Switzerland. So they're coming over for the competition next summer. And yeah, already we're planning for that, the whole sort of logistics of we need to book the hotels, we need to plan the flights, we need to liaise with immigration, we need to coordinate with the officials, with the ICC, with the volunteers, Guernsey Tourism. The media, BBC are fantastic in terms of supporting cricket over here, so that's great. So the Lieutenant Governor of Guernsey, so he's the King's representative over here, Sir Richard Crickwell. So I've met him at one of the recent games, great supporter of cricket, and Sir Richard has offered to host a reception at Government House for all of the teams that come over next summer. So that's going to be a huge event, so absolutely fantastic. And the support we get from the community is just brilliant.
Does that cost Guernsey cricket much to host a tournament like that, or is it all funded by the ICC?
It's pretty much funded by the ICC, yeah, which is great. Yeah, there's a certain sort of cost on our part, but no, it's ICC funding's great. Yeah.
We'll have to ask you about your rivalry with Jersey. You've mentioned them a couple of times, being an hour away on the boat, 10-minute flight. But that the rivalry between the two nations when it comes to cricket actually has a particular name, doesn't it?
Well, it's the inter-insular, which basically means inter-island. And it dates back to the 1860s. I think the first sort of recorded match between the islands was the two colleges. So Guernsey's Elizabeth College played Jersey's Victoria College, but it wasn't until I think 1950 that it started to be an actual sort of representative senior men's competition. There were, I believe, a couple of times that Jersey didn't come over. So our 75th isn't until 2 years' time. So we're planning a big event. So we hosted it this year. It's then in Jersey next year. And then we're planning a big event for the 75th one in a couple of years' time. Yeah, unfortunately, Jersey are going through a bit of a good run. They've won about 11 in a row. But back in the sort of early 2000s, we won 8 in a row. So it is possible. You generally get this where you get a good side together and you have a really good run of games. So I'm hopeful that with our, like I said before, our under-19s having recently beat Jersey, that hopefully bodes well for the future. We'll get back onto winning ways going forward. But some of these fixtures really sort of capture the imagination of the islands. We've had sort of pretty substantial crowds at some of these games over the years. Yeah,
like
really
four-figure
good.
crowds into the 1,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really good, and a real sort of whole day event. It's they're good.
And tell me about the nickname for the team, because this sounds quite quirky to me.
Well, there's the Latin names, which is the Guernsey are the Sarnians, Jersey are the Caesareans. But yeah, I suppose the other ones are that Guernsey are the donkeys, because we're stubborn and hardworking, I'd say. And then Jersey are the Crappos, which is named after a toad in Jersey.
Glad you clarified that. So the Sarnians is the Latin name, is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Richard, it has been fascinating getting that insight into cricket in Guernsey, and we wish you best of luck for the rest of the season you've got now, and certainly the under-19s when you host that tournament next year as well. Thanks for being with us on Stumped.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stumped. My thanks to Jim Maxwell, Charu Sharma, and to all of you for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.